Um, a couple days ago, Curtis and Kim and Brat called in the program. Big shout out to Curtis. Most mornings, I think he's tuned in and listening. And he was saying that he wanted to defend the electric companies because he had posted his bill online. We actually shared it. And then people, I don't think, boy, to say that people don't pay attention, especially on this island, is an understatement. Not only do y'all not pay attention, but you don't read, you jump to conclusions, and you say whatever the heck it is that you want, regardless. Hold on one second. Good morning. Hey, still on air until 10:30. Okay. Okay, hon. Send me your direct number. Okay, all right, thanks. So yeah, it's crazy. But listen, challenge taken and challenge accepted. We will post stuff. People start commenting. All people have to see is the word electricity, the word, CUC, and all of a sudden they're jumping in the bandwagon. So the actual initial post was about this bill here for $941.04. Now, Lord Jesus, if y'all would actually read, it'd be such a miracle. I mean, how hard can reading be? Apparently, reading is extremely difficult for some of y'all. It's kind of like, people see what they want to see. We're more likely to believe, right, in something that we already have a foundational belief in anyway. So, somebody says to you, well, I don't even know what example I could use, but they say, oh, the earth is flat, right? You already believe that the earth is flat. And they say, well, you know what? I heard so and so say that the earth is flat. You're going to be like, yeah, that's true. I already knew that, It's a fallacy, but you're more likely to accept it if fundamentally you believe in those types of things anyway. So here's the thing. You're more likely to believe a conspiracy if you're a conspiracy theorist, no matter what the conspiracy is, no matter how ridiculous it might sound. That's human nature. You're just more likely to believe it. And so you all, a lot of you, are so blinded by your hate for CUC that no matter what someone posts or what they say, as long as you see the word CUC, all of a sudden, you're like, oh yeah, look, CUC charged this man $941. Meanwhile, the post has nothing to do. The point of the post, okay, was that, listen, y'all are complaining. This is exactly what the post said 2 days ago. It said, those complaining about CUC should take a look at this bill from Brack Power and Light. Trust me, it's not the companies that are the issue. The heat fuel factor is killing us. Me, I'm throwing the covers off at night and turning on the fans. Every one of you can get devices to track your usage and see it for yourselves. We have one, and CUC is not crooking us because, of course, people have this erroneous belief again that CUC is somehow crooking them and charging them something that they're actually not using. Oh, they're just estimating your bill and this, that, and next thing. Meanwhile, folks, CUC can tell you very, very precisely what your usage is down to the specific kilowatt. But you're like, nope, they're just estimating it. And no matter what you do, that can always be your bill. That's not correct. And it's crazy because people refuse to look at like real evidence that is before them. So it's like, huh? Say what? So I wanted to break it down a little bit because yesterday, this person, I don't know who he is, Albert Conley. I don't know who he is. Albert, probably from, I guess he's from East End. I don't know. But Albert made this comment and 11 people thought it was funny or they liked it or whatever. And so I thought, you know what, let me address Albert because Albert is misinformed, and hold on one second. All right, so Albert is misinformed, and he is also, again, willing to accept a statement or a belief system that is not based in anything factual. So this is what Albert says. He says, I hope CUC paying you good for all the propaganda that you're spreading. Only a blind person can't see that their kilowatt charges are very high compared to the rest of the world. Well, Albert, my response to him is that you must be blind then. Because if you went and had a look at the report that monitors costs across the region, you'd see that CUC is actually not the highest and they're in the middle. You see, people will say things as though it's a fact. You are entitled to your opinion, Albert. And like I said, I don't know who the hell Albert Conley is, so don't take it personal. You're entitled to your opinion, but what you're not entitled to are facts. Because what you're saying is not factually correct. Now, here's the crazy thing about it. We can prove it. We don't need to take CUC's word for it. Yeah? This is a great thing about living in this day and age where you have watchdogs, you have government agencies, you have organizations and companies around the world who will take independent information and put reports and conclusions together. Now, I want to invite all of you, do not take my word for anything I say. You go to this, hold on, let me get you the website. Okay. This is called, hold on now, honey chill. You go to this website. It's called, the organization is called CALIC, I think is how it's pronounced. CARILEC. Okay. You go to their website, CALIC.org, and they are an organization that, let me tell you what their mantra says when it says about us. Okay. So they are a electricity-based organization. So it's the Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation, an association of electric energy solution providers and other stakeholders operating in the electricity industry in the Caribbean, Central and South America, and globally. So CARILEC Secretariat endeavors to improve communication amongst its members, providing technical information, training, capacity building, conference, and other services. All right. They go on to say that they play a leading role in electric utility advocacy, growth, and sustainability in the region. Okay. So here we go. So this organization does a report, and I'm happy to give you the report. I'm happy to send you the link for the report. In fact, hold on a second. I'm going to put it right here in the comment section. They have an annual report from 2022. All of you can go and look at this for yourselves, right? Let people come to you with facts. Don't let anyone make a statement that is so flagrantly disrespectful, number one. Okay. Albert, don't insult me on a good day, much less a bad day. Okay. I don't sit here and advocate on behalf of anybody or anything that is harmful to the people of this country, are harmful to the Cayman Islands, or even to myself. I would have to ask you the question, how much exactly would they have to be paying me? I have a CUC bill just like the rest of you. I don't get a discount on my CUC bill. Nobody's paying me a discount on my bill or give me free electricity. Where's Cindy this morning? Cindy made a comment, but oh, you must have shares in CUC. You know what? If I were smart, I wouldn't have shares in CUC, but I wasn't smart at the time. If we were smart, we would all have shares in CUC, but I wasn't that smart. So I wish I had shares in CUC, but no, I don't have shares in CUC. Now let's talk facts, okay? You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to be all up in your feelings, although your feelings are completely wrong. But the facts are this. If you go and look at this report, and I'm going to actually pull the report in, so give me 1 second. We're going to pull it up, have it right here on screen. You will see that on page 42 of the report. Let me just skip forward. I think it's 42. Hold on. 42. Yes. All right. Here we go, honey child. Let me get the report now. Where did I save it? Hold on a second. Karen. Hold on. Okay. So if you go to page 42 of this report, they actually have a comparison by region. So his comment was, CUC has one of the highest kilowatt, whatever per in the entire world. We don't even have the highest in the region, so I have no clue how we would have the highest in the world. Albert, educate yourself before you come talking foolishness. Here's the annual report from this independent organization. Let's skip forward to page 42. Let me see. Can I go all the way down to 42? Yep, good. All right, here we go. So here's the graphs. Now I know they're a little bit challenging to read, so I'm going to, that's as big as I can get it on that screen. I'm going to increase it on this other screen over here and tell you exactly what it says. So there's a couple things here that they do comparisons by region. So there's one on here says tariff results for 400 kilowatt hours residential customers from March 2022. We've got all sorts of different companies here that represent the region. TCI, GPL, some of these companies, I guess this is like Nevis, TCI, T and TEC. They do it by company, so you're gonna have to forgive me if I don't know what all these countries are represented, but I see Belco, Agua, Electric, Apua, BLPC, BVI, EC, so obviously that's BVI, Dominican, Fortis TCI, GBPC. So it has a number of companies here, right? These graph represents all these different electric companies across the board. CUC is smack dab in the middle. And then you're able to look at a couple different things. So one has residential customers' typical bills in US dollars for 400 kilowatt per MTH, right? Now, I don't know if y'all can see this. Hold on a second. Let me do this. I am going to let me screen grab the individual graphs because then this makes more sense because then you're going to be able to see it. Hold on one second. You're going to see a little bit bigger. All right, give me 1 second here. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. But look at the report for yourselves. Like I said, don't take my word for it. I'm just reading this report put together by experts instead of taking Albert's advice. Here we go. Bam. There you go, honey chair. All right, y'all see CUC right there in the middle? You've got who is ANGLEC? Which company is that? I don't know which country these all are, okay? But if you notice, CUC is nowhere near the highest. In fact, they seem to kind of be dab smack in the middle. So you have BVI that's higher. You have, who is BLPC? Hold on, let's look some of these up. BLPC, let me see. BLPC is Barbados Light and Power. So Barbados Light and Power is higher than CUC. BVI is higher. Who is Belco? Hold on, let's look them all up. Belco is Bermuda. Bermuda is way higher than CUC. Aqua, which one? That's NV. Would that be Nevis? Aqua Electra. That one is Curacao. Okay. Aqua, what is this thing called? Aqua Electra. That's Curacao. ANG, let's see what this other one is. ANGLEC. That is, which country this is? Anguilla. Damn. Anguilla came in at the highest. And then after Anguilla is Stucco NV. Let's see who they are. Stucco NV. Hold on. Stucco NV is the Antilles. Where is this one? This is where? St. Which government is this? This is St. Eustace's. Where the heck are they? NV. Okay, I don't even know where they are. Okay. Anyway, they're on the list. I think they're part of the Netherlands Antilles. All right. You have Domlec. I bet that's Dominican Republic. Yep, Dominica, not Republic, but just Dominica. Sorry. Then you have Fortress TCI. Obviously, that's TCI. GBPC. GBPC is which country is this one? Okay. GBPC is hold on. This one is Bahamas, Grand Bahama. Right? So, I mean, you have a number of countries here, and I must tell you, they're not the lowest. So I'm not arguing that, but they're definitely not the highest. Okay. Look, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's pretty close. 10, 11, 12 other countries on this list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I see 12 others that are actually higher on a list of 20 than CUC. And that's dollar amount for the bill. Okay, let's look at another graph. Hold on. So that's not everything, because y'all can now sit down and argue with me about, oh, well, maybe their dollar is this and that and blah, blah, blah. So we have one here that is, let me see here now. Residential customers, typical bills. Let's see if we have one based on usage. Those are by months. Okay, typical consumption per customer group. Oh no. So it looks like they only look at it. They just look at the bill, but they have another one here that's quite interesting that looks at the base rate and tariffs. Okay, yeah, let's grab one of these so we can look at another graph. Okay, hold on now. Y'all bear with me, because like I said, this independent body has no reason to be lying in favor of anybody. They're just collecting data and they're making it available. You can go look at this information for yourselves. All right. So now this one is broken up into basically looking at what people are paying, but what percentage of that bill is a base rate, what percentage is levies and taxes, what percentage is fuel surcharge, and what are fixed charges. All right. So you kind of have to look at each one of these individually now and see exactly what's going on here. So same companies again across the board. There's CUC. So the blue represents the base rate. All right. So once again, for those of you who are saying, well, it's what they're charging, the base rate, Albert, pay attention. Their base rate is the highest in the region. In fact, once again, no, it's not. Look at the base rate for the first two companies here. First three companies, all higher. BEL, which company is BEL? Did I look that one up? Oh, they're super high for their base rate. I think they have the highest on the list. Oh no, GPL does. Oh Lord, who the hell is GPL? Hold on. GPL is Guyana. So they have the highest base rate. It doesn't look like, I don't see them paying fuel surcharge. So I don't know how they do that based on what. They're not using fuel. I have no clue. But their base rate is actually the highest of all. Then you have, no, Malay. They're not the highest. NVEBS. Who's NV? So we have Guyana that's up there. And then we have NVEBS. Who the heck are they? Hold on here now, honey chill. That is Oh, this one not even in English? Which country is this? NV Suriname? Wow. Okay. So it looks like that's Suriname. They are the highest. Then after them would be Guyana. Then you've got Lucy Electric. I'm assuming that is St. Lucia. Yep, that's St. Lucia. They come in pretty high. Once again, CUC's base rate is nowhere near the highest in the region. Look at the data, folks. Look at the information. You can't argue with facts. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion, and your opinion has you all up in your feelings and you're hating on CUC. But the truth, based off of factual correlation of information by an independent body, demonstrates that you are completely wrong. And every single person, every single time somebody throws this nonsense out there, hating on CUC, and y'all be like, yeah, that's true, I'm gonna like that comment. You're completely wrong. Now let's look at the fuel surcharge. And by the way, stick a pin. You notice how they pretty much all have a fuel surcharge, except for those two countries. I don't know, the two highest ones don't have a fuel surcharge, but then they also have the highest base rate. They're just not separating their bills in that way. Like maybe it's included in the base rate. Like I don't really know, but I don't see a different color for fuel surcharge for those two. But still, they have the highest base rate. Most people seem to have, again, except for like those two, and there's two others at the front, have levies and taxes. So that's government. And then you have fixed charges. So most of them have fixed charges. And obviously, the bill is reflecting that based on the different colors, right? So again, let's have a look at CUC. So base rate is nowhere near the highest. The levies and taxes, so that's now what government is charging, is the piece that's in red. All right, so let's look at the one, because I guess some of these countries have no red. So I don't know if that means that they don't pay it at all. They don't pay levies and taxes, or whatever levies and taxes they're paying is not somehow separated out. I'm not really sure what that means if they have no red. So let's just look at the ones that have red. Here's the irony of it. It looks like to me, so we have BLPC, we have Belco, we have BEL, the first one, the Angelec, we have T and TEC, Vinlec, right? Of all of the ones that do have red, CUC and GBPC, this is just visually now, look like they're actually about the same, although GBPC has a much higher base rate. It looks like those two and also Vinlec have about the same, just again, this is visual. I don't have an exact number here, but they have about the same in terms of levies and taxes. So your government is not, and they're at the bottom for the ones who have it. You notice the other ones, they have a much higher portion in red. So you have three companies that look like they're neck and neck with the red. They're all in the lower echelon. So again, y'all cussing government. Oh, government needs to reduce fees. But regionally, based on this information, government is at the bottom. St. Vincent, CUC, and what did we say? GBPC was again. Let's see. That is which one again? Oh, sorry, I typed it in wrong. GBPC. That one is Bahamas. So St. Vincent, Cayman Islands, and the Bahamas governments, for those who have levies and taxes, are at the bottom. So y'all, once again, cussing government. And it seems to me the government really isn't making all that much. They're not charging much in terms of the levies and taxes. All right, let's look at the fuel surcharge. Because again, when you look at your bill, the vast majority of your bill is that fuel surcharge. Now, this is where CUC is now at the top. And this is important because once again, when y'all are lambasting CUC and cussing them and carrying on, they have no control over the fuel surcharge. And this is what I've been saying for quite some time now. From Hurricane Ivan, when I had to go up there and fill up my generator every single day, it occurred to me, damn, most of my bill is fuel. Look at the details of your bill. Stop looking at the bill in totality and look at what it is you're actually paying. Half of my bill or more is fuel surcharge. If that did not exist, none of y'all would be complaining about your bill. So have a look at the fuel surcharge that CUC is passing on, because they do not mark that up. Now, there are people who are higher. Without a doubt, BLPC is higher. It looks like they could be close to the first two. What is this? Is this Grenada? Grenlec? Oh my God. They don't pay levies and taxes, but their fuel surcharge is the highest out of this entire group. Them and then Nevlec. I think they're Grenada. Grenlec. Let's see. Grenlec. Oh, hold on. Let's spell that. Grenlec Power. So yes, that's Grenada. So they pay a lot for their fuel surcharge. So this is the one area that, again, CUC is not the worst, but you know, they're kind of up there now. They're not in the best anymore. So Belco doesn't seem to pay a lot in fuel surcharge. BEL has no fuel surcharge at all. So I don't know how exactly they do that. GBPC is the lowest of the bunch in this regard, I think. They're pretty close to Belco, but they seem like they're probably the lowest. All right. And then we have fixed charges, which is the things like the renewable, whatever those little additional charges they charge you for every single month. And again, you know, some people seem to have very little fixed charges, but it's there. Again, CUC isn't the highest. But let me break this down in a little bit of a more meaningful way. All right. So let's look at this, because CUC pulled this out and shared this information again from these same countries. They didn't name the countries, and I think they should have, instead of just saying country A, B, C, D, whatever. So there's Grand Cayman. This is electricity consumption average for 2022. Now, this is pretty interesting, because what this graph demonstrates is that despite all of that, despite us having, you know, low kilowatt, we're being charged low kilowattage, we're not in the highest, we're not really in the highest for levies and taxes from the government, surcharge, we're a little bit up there. We still have, out of all of these regional countries, and like I said, I wish that they would have named them, we still have the highest consumption average. You know what this says to me? I'm going to tell y'all exactly what this says. This says that Caymanians and people who reside in the Cayman Islands enjoy a life of luxury and honestly do nothing but complain. How can you have such a significantly higher electricity consumption? You're burning it like it is paper. And then you have the audacity to sit down and complain about your CUC bill. It is consumption based. You pay for what you use. So how is it that in the region we're using more than anybody else? We've talked about this before, because Caymanians can't live without AC, right? We got big time refrigerators. One refrigerator is not enough, apparently. Y'all must have a refrigerator plus a deep freezer, packing up and saving all this meat. Well, you know, Sandra, I gotta have my turtle meat on stock, you know. Okay. But that deep freezer is another appliance that in a lot of countries, they don't have no deep freezer. They don't know nothing about that. So we have become accustomed to a type of life, a type of lifestyle That is why here in the Cayman Islands, every one of us must have multiple cars in our homes. I'm guilty of it. I'm not, listen, I'm not here pointing no finger at nobody. I'm pointing a finger at me too. Hashtag me too. I'm in the same mess. The difference is I'm not going to kill and lambast CUC from my usage. Right? We have the devices monitoring our systems here. I told y'all already. This computer I'm using right now to do this show pulls a lot of power. Even my husband was surprised when he saw how much it was using. He was like, you want to turn that off sometime? I'm like, no. Turn off what? Spoiled. Yeah? I'm like, I can't turn that off. I got work to do. Then pay for it and stop complaining. Okay? Yeah. I want a nice car. Honda CRV. $40. I'm filled up for 3 weeks. HRV. Yep. Hybrid. Good to go. Oh no. What does Sandy do? For my birthday, well, I want to treat myself and I want to get a nice car. Well, guess what? That nice car is not economical. I'm just saying. These are the choices that we're making. We want SUV. We want to be able to pack kids in the back and carry the dog and this and that in beach gear. And then those bigger engines cost more money. Same thing with CUC. Right now, I'm in here going, oh God, this room feeling kind of hot. I'm going to drop my temperature down to 77 degrees because I can't sweat a bead while I'm on air. I got to keep cool. I told y'all last night, it was yesterday afternoon, I decided to take a nap on the sofa. Oh, geez, I'm pieced the heat. I was like, close the window and turn on the AC because I can't take the heat. Other places in the world, other places right in the region, they take the heat, right? When I go to Jamaica just as hot as Cayman in certain areas, although they get the little mountain breeze and, you know, at night it gets cooler in a lot of areas too, right? I sitting there with my in-laws, they sitting in front of a fan. I'm like, y'all don't have central or what? And look at me like, what? Spoiled. Central? Open up a window and catch some breeze behind the grill bars. This is our reality. Our consumption is so high because we have gotten used to having all of these things, and we now get to the point where we complaining because we don't really want to pay for it. Cut back on your consumption. Do you really need a 4,000 square foot house or even a 3,000 square foot house? You could get away with 1,200 square feet. That reduces your footprint, including your kilowatt usage, significantly. Do you need AC running all the time? Do you need that big oversized refrigerator and a deep freezer? Do you need 50 appliances connected? I remember when Flo had come by one day, we were having a problem with the internet and stuff. And this is before fiber. And we're like, boy, the internet around here is so slow. And they said, excuse me, Miss Sandy and Marlon, y'all know that you have 50 something devices connected to that same internet you complaining about? I was like, what? 50 who? Every smart tablet, every phone, every camera, every Alexa is in every single room. Okay?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
I know you don't, honey child. I'm giving the people the answer this morning. We get used to these modern day conveniences and we don't want to give them up. We could live a much simpler life and y'all would stop complaining about CUC. Your kids are home during the summer. Oh, I'm not using no more during the summer. You're a liar. You are using more. And your children are sitting on all day on gaming computers, gaming systems. Oh my God. The tea went down the wrong hole. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Let's take a commercial break. Oh, Jesus.
I'm Heather Bodden, MP for Savannah and a lifelong advocate for the environment. Illegal dumping is a crime, so please take civic pride in our home and put litter where it belongs. If you see someone littering, report it to the Department of Environmental Health on 949-6696.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
For 55 years, Cayman Airways has been serving as the national flag carrier of the Cayman Islands. This honor is the core of our identity, our purpose. And when we say those who fly us love us, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. So we're celebrating this milestone anniversary with you, our treasured community, with airfares on sale for travel to all of our fall destinations. But hurry, this airfare sale ends August 12th. Call 949-2311 or book online at CaymanAirways.com. Celebrating 55 years as your national flag carrier.
Are you tired of overpaying for TV services? Can't figure out VPNs? Constantly missing your favorite TV shows? And no access to the good stuff on streaming services? The frustration is real, but it doesn't have to be. Contact Roque, Cayman's streaming pros. We'll put you back in the driver's seat in front of your TV. Call, WhatsApp, or message Roque today on 926-1213. Roque is not a TV service provider. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, honey, child, excuse me. Drinking my little tea and went down the wrong hole. What a hot mess. So I had a little coughing moment. Even my tea in the morning. You want to know how spoiled we are as Caymanians? Y'all need a reality check. And like I said, I'm including myself into this. I drink tea here in the mornings. Well, the show is 3 hours, to be fair to myself now. Sipping on my tea. And even to that is on a, what do you call these heat things again? Even to that is on a little heater thing. What do you call them again? The little warmers, right? So I can't even afford to make my tea get cold. The point is, we have become accustomed to a particular lifestyle, okay? A particular usage. And if y'all really want to reduce your C bill, simply reduce your consumption. The facts are there. It's not rocket science. See here? In 2022, consumption for the average residential customer in Grand Cayman was 1,084 kilowatt hours per household, compared to an average, I'm laughing at what somebody just sent me, compared to an average of 334 kilowatt hours per household across 22 other Caribbean countries. That is over triple the average residential electricity usage in the Caribbean. So Albert and anybody else like Albert, y'all need to come again. Come again. You're using over triple and still not paying the highest. Have it make sense, Jesus. Y'all using over triple, but still your typical bill is still not the highest in the region, right? Your government still not charging you the highest in levies and taxes. The base rate is still not the highest. The fixed rates are still not the highest. Yes, the fuel surcharge is up there. And yet you are blaming who for the problem? Oh, let's blame government. Let's blame CUC. Seems to me that they're not the ones to blame, none at all. It is the users, you and I. Okay? I told y'all yesterday, I decided to take a little nap. I was feeling a little bit tired. This flu killing me, honey child. What do? I turn on the TV. Listen, I said I'm going to take a nap. I was very conscious that when I lay down on the sofa, my intention was to sleep. Ask yourself why I had to turn on the TV to fall asleep. Well, I find sometimes it's easier to sleep to the TV. That's a creature comfort. Don't you think so? And in some respects, I have to admit that it's absolutely ridiculous. And then I said, oh, I'm feeling kind of warm. Turn on the AC too. Mm-hmm. And we're raising children who are just as spoiled as us, if not more. So every single night, my daughter going to bed now, Lord Jesus. Oh, mommy, you can tell Alexa to play baby lullabies for me? Sure. Because she's gotten used to having music when she goes to sleep. You don't think she could sleep without music? She could. But now it's kind of hard because that's a habit. We've allowed her to form a habit of sleeping with music. I told y'all, my entire life, I'm always covered under blankets. It'd be 100 degrees outside at night, and I'm still under a blanket. Why? Because it's a habit. No other reason. I'm not cold. In fact, most nights in the middle of the night, I'm kicking off the blanket because I get hot. So how does that work? Got on AC, got on fan, under the blankets, and it's still hot, and got to kick them off at some point. But when I go to bed, boy, I'm like, I gotta be toasty. I can't compromise on this. I feel naked if I don't have a blanket or something over me. No, sir. All right. Let's read some of your comments. Aliana says, I know the report, but the shock of how this power production process is getting higher and higher for the little people, and the cost of living is a constant issue, and my paycheck can't be risen because, oh, you gotta get a raise in your paycheck. You just won't get one. Don't worry about that. And then that can make things go up again. But don't complain when you get a raise in your paycheck and businesses and other people increase their stuff now. I'm just saying, we're going to give you the raise in your paycheck. Minimum wage is going to go up. All right? Don't worry about that. And the knock-on effect you'll be complaining about. Caller.
Buenos dias.
Hello, how are you?
Ready to give you some more trouble again today. I'm going to cause you, some of your supporters, to have a heart attack today.
Oh, geez, I'm pissed.
The ones who vote for Biden. And Biden's political promise is that if you support me, the first thing I'm going to do is shut down the petroleum industry. And so he signed an executive order to stop fracking. Now, I know that the people, oh, well, that's environmentally, okay, that's fine. But the consequences of doing that is higher prices. America went from an oil exporting country, meaning that they had significant influence over the price of fuel, to an oil importing country, which means they're at the mercy of places like Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and Russia. Now, if you support the ideology that you're going to shut down the petroleum industry before you have something to replace it with, tell me you're not an idiot.
So we're going to blame Biden for our high CUC bill?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Because oil prices are priced internationally. And when you look at the oil producing countries, they're the major countries like Saudi Arabia, like Russia, like Venezuela, like the US, they're the ones that control the price, the consensus between them and output. And so if you take a decision that you're going to take yourself out of the position of having the ability to influence the oil price and put yourself into a position where you have to go to Venezuela and say, please don't charge me so much. You're an idiot. If you want to switch from petroleum fuel to a different source of fuel, you do that first. You don't shut off your ability to have access to fuel and then cry when the price goes up. You're an idiot. Now, I know that the world wants to move to what they call sustainable power. Well, then do it. Do that first. But what's actually happening is the philosophy of Joe Biden is that the way that you're going to switch from petroleum to alternative is to jack up the price of petroleum. That's great if you have an option to move to something else. How many people can afford to go to the bank and borrow money to build their own generating capacity, independent of CUC? How many?
So again, now you brought CUC into the mix, but you're blaming Biden.
I'm CUC is in the mix because we're buying our energy from CUC.
Right.
But CUC is not the person to blame for the high cost of fuel.
Well, that's all I'm saying too. I mean, I agree with you there.
I know, but I'm just saying that.
All right, let's blame Biden. We can leave it there.
The people who are thinking that CUC is the problem have to ask themselves, well, does CUC make the fuel?
Well,
do they dictate what the price of the fuel is?
Let me continue reading the comments and we'll see exactly how and what people are thinking. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. All right. So Pam says that I just saw a comment from Pam that had me confused. So Pam said, well, Sandy, this is exactly what Albert Conley was saying yesterday, that the fuel surcharge back up the heft of the bill, but then you shot him down saying it wasn't so. So you're now saying the opposite. Come on, Sandy. So whatever Albert said, he was right. No, he wasn't. And that's not what he said. I need you to pay attention, Pam. Work with me now. Here is his comment on the screen for everybody to see. He said, right? You're good for all the propaganda you're spreading. Only a blind person can't see that their kilowatt charge, the man that say nothing about fuel charge in this, are very high compared to the rest of the world. Pam, I have just proven to you beyond a doubt, let's pull that up again in case you missed it. Y'all need to pay attention now, that their kilowatt is not the highest. Their dollar amount bill is not the highest. And in fact, although their fuel charge isn't all the way at the bottom, that is also not the highest, the fuel surcharge. So nothing that Albert said, and I see him here in the comment section, Albert, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to your facts. The only person, he says, the only people agreeing with you is CUC and their shareholders. You cannot argue with facts. Now he's saying, oh, they're very high. You said they were the highest or one of the highest, and they're not. And in fact, when it comes to the base rate, they're some of the lowest in the region. What did I say? Out of 20, 12 are higher than them. That does not equate to some of the highest. I don't know what kind of math you did, where you got that math high school diploma from, but something not adding up, honey child. That don't even make no common sense, and I'm certainly no math expert. So no, Pam, he's nowhere near being right. Again, Mitzi says, thanks for breaking it down. You're welcome. He's entitled to his opinion, but you're not entitled to confuse people in this community with facts that are not accurate. And none of you want to talk about the consumption. I see your comment about the 2-bedroom, Pam. This is what I'm going to suggest to you. Get an audit, okay? Get an electricity audit and see exactly what devices in your house are using electricity. Because you're saying, okay, you have a 2-bedroom apartment, 4 grown people using electric stove. That's the first thing you need to get rid of is electric stove. 3 burners every evening. Bathing in hot water. Do you have a tankless propane hot water tank? 2 ACs going from 7:30 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. At what temperature? So these are the devil in the details. Washer and dryer going nonstop. And then they left. And then for the next 2 months, the monthly bill remains comes in almost the very same. Show me the bill. Pam, show me the actual bill and let's look at your usage. Because when people say stuff like this, and I say, okay, let us look at the actual bill itself. What I find so peculiar is you all do not look at your usage. Somebody just sent me this, right? I look at my usage. It's not about, oh, well, I have this, and all of a sudden all of that disappeared. Look at your kilowatt usage. Look at the fuel factor. What has changed from 1 month to the next? We know that the summer months are always the highest months because of the heat. And the one single appliance that is using more electricity than anything else is that air conditioner. Guess what? Turn it off for the next month. Go without AC for the next month and then talk to me. I bet you could not tell me that your CUC bill is the same. If you get an audit and someone comes in, and you can kind of do it yourself if you get these Emporia devices, have an electrician install it, you will see exactly what is pulling kilowatt hours. You'll see what's using electricity. CUC, just like the rest of us, those members, they have to pay their bills too. CUC don't give workers a discount. They're not getting electricity for free. You actually believe, I don't know how many people are employed at CUC, probably a couple hundred, I don't know. But you actually believe the people working at CUC would sit back and allow them to hoodwink the people of this country when they also have to pay the bills? That's your uncle, that's your brother, that's your husband that works for CUC? And you think he would sit back and allow CUC to be doing something untowards? Come on now. We're all Caymanians here. Let's pick sense from nonsense. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Anna. How you doing today?
Not too bad. How you doing, Bobo?
Yep. Let me see if I could contribute something
Sure.
to the argument this morning, or
discussion.
look, take a point of view. Yeah, discussion. Sorry. You see the problem. I not gonna problem with the usage, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about anybody else. Like you claiming, I not gonna problem with the usage. The thing is now, Christmas, after the summer comes Christmas. And what CUC now gonna do for Christmas is send up the rate again. So you're not using no AC. Much people don't use much AC during the Christmas season, during the what we call the winter season. Then you know what I mean, during the cold season.
But their base rate don't go up. But hold on now.
If it reach 80, we get up. It goes up. You trust me.
No. The base rate. No.
It goes up.
Okay. Hold on. The base rate is something that OFREG has to approve every time they do a base rate increase, right? In fact, was it last year that CUC decided to forego their base rate increase that they were entitled to by their contract? So they didn't raise it last year. They raised it this year, but I can't remember. I think it was just a couple months ago. But I don't know if CUC raising it twice in a year.
And then
I can double check.
Listen.
And then
the gas, the fuel consumption now, you're not gonna get out of that either. So they got if they don't go up with the base rate, they can still say, well, the fuel consumption is on to that because they can't control it. What we really need to do is try to find a way to try to let them pay for petroleum, for fuel cheaper, and then they could generate it to us cheaper. That is the main argument.
Yeah, I mean,
so I don't know what kind of restrictions we got at. We can't buy fuel from no other country or anything because they're communist country or whatever. But Jamaica isn't a communist country. We could buy it from Jamaica. At least just bring in couple of ships just for CUC alone, and then that would reduce the fuel cost. You know? I mean, you can't really compare them other countries to us here living because we living on a flat land.
But listen,
them countries is
maybe
and all that kind of stuff.
Maybe
cooler temperatures and all that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the case.
And some you got to find out now the electrical inspections and things because some of them places some of them countries where you talk about, they're allowed to have 2-3 plugs inside of their home.
Mhm.
Here, you're not allowed to have you gotta have a specific amount of electrical plugs inside of your home and all that kind of and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
And can I
They
tell you something
probably-
else too?
They probably don't use the consumption stuff what we use, which is true. So they
Well,
could
not-
afford that.
but listen, not
to
only
pay it.
that, but can I tell you something too? In those countries, they steal electricity like it nobody business.
Yeah, well,
I
I
mean,
know, I know.
let's be very
Exactly.
clear. They're not gonna always pay for it the right
Yeah.
way either.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, come on
Yeah,
now.
so it's a tricky thing. What government got to do is try to deal with that fuel, and then put a regulations on CUC. Say, listen, and it cannot go up on the rate, like probably once in 5 years. But because they're adding inflation to that to everything else, you know, they're adding inflation to every time they goes up. Inflation goes up, prices goes up on everything on this island. So every time CUC they go up with their rates.
Mhm.
Inflation for the rest of us is going up. So government need to put their foot down and say, listen, like how they do in other countries. And I don't know, you could call it a communist country or whatever they do. But they said the government set a regulation, say, listen, and it can't go up with any rate within 5 years or 6 years because they're gonna be too high and the people not gonna can't afford it. And they're keeping the people at bondage for paying this. So that's my little contribution for today. You have a good day.
Thanks, honey. I appreciate it. I mean, but listen, you can't say on the one hand, I mean, I will say this much. You can't say, oh, let's not compare ourselves to other countries because, you know, they have all these other things, they have mountains, whatever. But then you turn around and say, well, in the region, we have the highest. That's comparing us to other countries. So you can't have it both ways is my point. You can't say, don't compare us to other countries because there are factors that might impact their consumption. But what do you mean? That doesn't make any sense. Because the only way we can see how we are compared to these other 22 countries is by comparison. And we do get it. But even if you took into account the fact that, yeah, you know, they got some of them have mountains and whatever. Some of the other countries are flat just like us. They're not got no mountains either, and they're still not using, right? They're still not using triple. It's not like we're using 1.5 times, you know. We're not using double. We're using triple on average the electricity usage. That means that we are over consuming. Look at our landfill. I put out a challenge the last time we were talking about CUC. And I said to someone, and Pam, I got to challenge you. I will give you $150 towards your CUC bill. Now I got to pay it directly. And I give you $150 in your hand. I can pay it directly. If you can show me your bill and the bill that you said just went up and you using less and nobody not there, right? Show me where the usage is actually less on the bill, and I will give you $150 towards your CUC bill. And once again, I'm going to challenge anybody who can demonstrate usage has gone down and the bill has gone up to step forward. The challenge has not been met. It is still on the table, and I will meet you. Denny, you got a bill that you gonna show me that your usage has gone down, but the bill gone up? I don't think so.
You said that we are over consuming.
Yes. And
Does that mean that the government wants to make us as poor as other islands?
You're blaming the government for your overconsumption?
No, we're not over consuming. We're consuming differently because we live a different standard of living.
You're over consuming. You're spoilt.
No. If you want to wind the clock back and take Cayman back to where we're consuming the same level of electricity that they do in those other countries, then tell me, how are you going to change the standard of your living?
Well, I
These
am
are two
saying,
different questions.
okay.
I am not saying. I'm not.
Let me tell you what I'm willing to do.
people-
Let's talk personally now, right? Because like I said, this impacts me as well. Because I will admit to over consuming. You know what I'm willing to do? Let me tell you what I'm willing to do. I'm willing, sorry, to change out every light bulb in my house to LED. I'm willing to sacrifice and go to the bank and get solar. Okay. I am willing to put film on the window. Mhm. I'm willing to install the plantation shutters and close them during the day to try and keep the sun out. There are things that I'm not willing to give up the nice usage. That's not what I'm telling you, Nina. Don't get me wrong, because I'm admitting to being just as selfish as the rest of you, but I'm willing to sacrifice things on the other end to make improvements. So that bill comes in, at least I get a little bit of a solar credit. I've done a couple things like adding a little bit more foam to the attic and so on. We all have to decide what we're going to do, Denny.
Well, I agree with that. And so if you burn the electricity, you pay for it.
Well, trust me, without a doubt.
However, but you have to understand that if you say that we're going to burn, we're burning too much, so we're going to go back to burning 300 kilowatts.
No, I never said that. You know,
understand the change that. Well, then we're not over consuming.
You are over consuming, and that's what you've become used to. I'm not saying that Caymanians are going to change that, because I don't think Caymanians are even capable of making that kind of sacrifice. Right now, we need to make some sacrifices in relation to giving up cars. And you know what our solution is as Caymanians? Oh, make the expats do it, because we are not prepared to do it.
Are you going to?
No, I just told you that.
Why not?
Because we are.
So why should somebody else give up their car?
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we, including myself in the exact same boat, are over consumers. We are selfish individuals, and we don't want to be part of the solution. So our solution is, make the expats do it. Make them not have a car to be able to get to work. But as a Caymanian, I want to have my car.
I want to read a comment. It just popped up on your screen a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Brenda said, "Is this going to become Biden versus Trump? So President Biden is running our government also, and the major shareholder." No, but you have to understand that fuel prices, petroleum prices, are dictated on an international level. It is not dictated by one country alone.
Okay, so stick a pin right there, Danny. And we do have two other callers on the line. So let me say this. If it's not dictated by one country alone, how can you then, just a couple minutes ago, blame it all on Biden? How can you say his decisions?
I just explained it to you. Biden took the decision to stop the U.S. from using a method of extracting oil from the ground called fracking, because he claims that it's too detrimental to the environment. Fine. Okay. That's what you want to do? That is going to mean that you're no longer going to be an oil exporting country, and therefore not have the kind of influence over the price that you did before. Not total control, influence. Okay? And so it means that before the US has a replacement for petroleum fuel, they're saying, we're gonna raise the cost of the one that we're using. Well, if you raise the cost of the one you're using by creating policies that drive up the price, it's gonna cost more money. And that means that when CUC, who is a purchaser of fuel, just like each one of us, needs to purchase fuel to run a generator to provide us with electricity, it's going to cost them more too. And your previous caller talked about studies prohibiting CUC from raising rates and from doing this and doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when CUC, if the government was to say, you know what, CUC, you can't raise the cost to the customer anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So when the price of fuel goes up, you will not be able to raise the price.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, meaning pass the price. I don't mean raise their base rate. I'm talking about passing the cost on to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
How long do you think CUC will buy fuel at a higher price and pass on a lower price of fuel to their customers? How long do you think they will be able to do that for before they go out of business?
Mm-hmm.
What we're actually talking about right here is that there are plenty of people who are listening to this program who are
Mm-hmm.
totally clueless about how a business operates. Absolutely clueless.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is not about overconsumption. This is about people simply not understanding that if they use something, they should pay for it. You remember earlier in the show, you were talking about the Cubans who have a culture of depending on the government for subsidy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening to Cayman.
Hmm.
We're becoming a dependent country. And we think that things are going to be free.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not going to be free.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen is CUC will cut you off, and there'll be nothing that the government can do about it.
All right, Denny, we got
that
two
the
other
government-
callers on the line, so leave me there with those comments.
All right.
All right. All right. The next caller, let me see now. We have caller number ending in 5369. Morning, caller.
Morning, Sandra.
Hey.
Talk about missing the forest for the trees. No, I just wanted to comment and say that what you're saying makes complete sense. The previous caller, Denny, I mean, yes, he's talking about, I mean, his point was kind of all over the place. I wasn't really following what he was banging on about, but I think that people need to understand that, you know, as standard of living increase, costs increase as well, and you get used to a certain lifestyle. And I mean, I've just accepted that, yeah, my light bill is high. So I mean, if I'm gonna pinch money, I have to take that somewhere out of my budget. So that means a little less money going toward entertainment, a little less money going toward here. I mean, if I want to be able to sleep in my house or be in my house and be cool, that's just the reality of it. So what you said made perfect sense, Sandra. You made it quite clear for me to follow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you made it clear for a lot of other people who were listening to follow as well.
And let me say this, caller, because this is also, you know, when Denny was saying, well, you know, what are we going to do? And I said, well, there are other things that I can do. I'm not willing, like you said, I admit that the AC at night is not something I'm going to give up. Sorry. I mean, not doing it.
Well,
so somebody just asked,
thing,
I think it was Blackberry or KK said, when was the last time you opened your window? Let me tell y'all something. During COVID, you know how they were saying, you know, because how the virus operates, get fresh air into your house, open your windows. So when we had COVID infection in our house, I'm like, oh yeah, let's open some windows. Honey child, my windows have never been open since I lived in this house. I literally could not get them open because the mechanism is like not working. And I've never even noticed that because the windows have never been open.
But Sandra, my thing is that listening to Denny speak just now, right? I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful to him or anything. But okay, Biden, okay, you know, this country, that country, okay, but all right, Denny, what practical advice do you have for us that we can do right now? I mean, we have no control over Biden. We have no control over, you know, wherever. What and it's like, you know, the only thing that you can do is just reduce your consumption. That's it.
Or find another way to pay it. If you don't want to reduce your consumption,
find another way to pay it.
Find another way to pay it.
There you go.
All right, caller. All right. Leave me there. Thank you. Okay, next caller, you're up. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra.
Morning there.
Listen, I just got back into my car. I was driving down, and I tuned in just before Danny came on. My question to you is, what's your benchmark for your statement to say that we're over consuming?
Well, I mean, looking again at the fact that we are consuming at 3 times the amount of electricity usage as any other country in the region, some 22 other countries, that's the benchmark that I'm using. I'm saying it's not
Okay,
1.5,
that's
it's
what I
not
wanted.
twice.
Yeah. No. What I wanted to find out was what was your stat. So you're
Right.
saying based on our neighboring countries, islands, we are consuming by 3 times
Yeah.
more.
And
Yeah,
I would like to see, I mean, no one has done it on a world scale. So I would like to see it on a worldwide scale. But I think in the region, we have to admit that we are used to a particular lifestyle that, and a lot of the other Caribbean countries aren't. And they don't do things that way.
Well, this is the point that I'm getting at, right? So for you to say, some people will take it as being scolded, someone will take it as offensive because, oh, you're telling me I'm being wasteful, yada, 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 comparatively speaking to our neighboring territories. And my simple answer to you on that one is, while you are technically correct based on that, just like any study or scientific report or anything else, you have to keep in mind the context or the benchmarks that you're using. So I would dare say, if you came to me and said to me, based on South Florida's consumption, the Cayman Islands is using 3 times, 1.5 times, 2 times more than South Florida, and therefore we are over consuming, I would not argue with you with that, because I would say to you that we enjoy a similar lifestyle. We have a dubious distinction of having a complete different set of infrastructure than Jamaica and all the other Caribbean islands and even the Latin American countries within our region. So by default alone, some people can't consume more just because there's even in Jamaica, but even in places, all these other places, they have rolling blackouts because they can't. So it is not a fair, and my point I'm driving at is it's not a fair comparison to say it's in our region. Now let me. It would be fairer, I think, if it's South Florida.
Okay.
I would say
Well, let's see if no one has done the stats in other places, right? Because this organization I was talking about is a regional organization, but let's see if we can get some information beyond our borders. But someone who's listening to the program from Bermuda this morning just sent me something, an article just published on July 24th in their Royal Gazette, saying that Bermuda's electricity is the second most expensive in the entire world.
But let me put a caveat into what I'm saying as well. I'm not saying that we as a general society cannot be more frugal and cannot be more mindful on how we spend it. We back to your point, we reach a certain comfort level. So to leave that, to let that go voluntarily is just like how we saying we're overweight, we need to go to the gym, we're out of shape, we need to take care of our health. It's just harder to do. So, but it's not that we can't do it. So it's what you make your mind up to do. And then, of course, you've got the other mitigating factors of government officials playing with your emotions, making you believe you're right or feel that you're right, or giving you handouts to help you out while you show up and begging for help while you got 2 phones on your hip, like what one minister famously said years ago. Not having a real, honest conversation with yourself. But and to address one other point there with Denny that he said, Biden this, but he was the one who increased cost of fuel or caused it from fracking. The reality is, yeah, that's true. If the U.S. kept on fracking, prices would go down. Supply and demand is your ratio for that. However, you just can't ignore the fact that fracking was destroying entire counties and communities where they were doing this. And then there's the Keystone pipeline or whatever pipeline it was that they were blocking that too. That was going through native territory, spilling into rivers and lakes that people were using for water supply, and there was all those dangers. So everything has to be, you can't look at it one-sided, and I think that's where the conversation is at. Yeah. There's no one easy solution. But again, the point where the U.S. has also affected these pricing is that they're saying, oh yeah, nobody can buy from communist countries like, for example, Venezuela. But soon bill and say, look, we're going to give you some concessions if you sell us some fuels, but we're not gonna take your foot off your throat, but we'll ease the pressure up a little bit if you sell us some fuel, and that is what the Biden administration has done, as well as and what all successive governments are going to be doing. In other words, they are the big bully in the sandbox. You have to play by their rules, and if you don't have their stature, you have no chance. And so all of that has to be kept into context. Now, like I said, I would close off by saying that I don't think we are 3 times over consuming, like I said, compared to Florida, but we definitely have plenty of room to better our energy consumption. And with that, I'll leave you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So,
Sandra, could I just sneak in one more point?
Oh, sorry, you're still there? Oh, hi.
I stayed on to listen. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Because I'm hearing comments about people talking about government should get involved and government should lower prices. Let's remember that anytime the government gets involved in free market economy, there's always going to be some inefficiency of some kind. Yeah. I'll use an example to illustrate my point. If I'm in the apartment business and I'm renting apartments to people, right? And in my apartment complex, I have things like swimming pool, and I have a swimming pool, I have a gym, I have a laundromat, I have all of these amenities, and I'm charging $3,000 a month for rent. I'm just trying to figure out there, right? The government comes in and says, well, no, you can't charge that. You can only charge $2,000 or $1,500. Remember to maintain the pool and to maintain the laundromat and all those other amenities. It costs me money, right? So here's what's going to happen now. All right, well, gym lock up. We drain the pool. Landscaping is not going to be done every month now. It'll be done every 2 or 3 months now. The quality of the place, the quality of the product is going to go down. So can you imagine now government goes into CUC and says to CUC, some reasonable regulations are necessary, but if the government does what people are asking them to do to CUC, can you imagine now how many blackouts we might get? Oh, this engine failed. Oh, we can't afford so many people on CUC, so we're going to let go some technicians. And people want what they want until they get it, And I think people need to be mindful of that. I think what your point was clear in terms of practical things that we can do is just look, accept the fact that we live in the Cayman Islands, accept the fact that you have a 3,000, 4,000 square foot house. You have 3-4 refrigerators / freezers in your house. You have a gaming system, electronics in every room. You have central AC in every room. You just have to accept the fact that if you want your bill to go down, then that means you're going to have to feel the pinch a little bit. You're going to have to pinch from here and there. If you don't want to give up anything else, reduce your consumption. Feel some of the heat.
And thank you, caller. I appreciate it. So, something has to give and take, right? So for me, this is my personal philosophy. I pay a mortgage on my home. That's why I spend most of my time at home. Okay. Because when you're paying the mortgage, you got all these darn interest rates that you're paying. I'm not going out in these streets and giving anybody else more of my money than I really need to. This is really my philosophy. I'm not going out in no bar, sitting down for no happy hour and drinking happy hour on a Friday and running up a tab of $400 or $500. That $400 or $500, that's half my CUC bill right there. And I know people who every single Friday, I used to go and sit down with them, and I had my one little Pepsi and my little water sipping on, and the liquor that they would go through, the tab for happy hour every Friday. Oh, Sandy, come. We're at Rackham's right now. And when I saw that tab, I'm like, blouse and skirt, say, what? This what people paying for liquor? And this was like 10, 15 years ago. I'm not doing that anymore. And I wasn't sitting down there drinking. I'm just looking at the tab. I'm like, you pay, you add that up for the month. That's a mortgage. That's more than your CUC bill. But y'all don't complain about those types of things. You're happy to sit down and spend it on liquor and smoking and whatever else, sex. We talked about paying for sex earlier. Whatever suits your fancy, you are willing to do it. Some of y'all live up in the salon. Look at my jacked up nails, Lord Jesus. They need to be done from like 3 weeks ago. I'm not getting them done. I might go next week and I'll do mani and pedi at the same time. The hair need to be done. I'm not getting it done. We all have sacrifices to make. You know what somebody said to me this morning, and I had to chuckle. Oh, these same people on social media complaining about their bill, But I just see them coming from Miami shopping and living their best life. Are they up in Jamaica shopping and living? See, with everything killing them because they're on KX every turnaround, but they need a break. CUC not paid, CNB not paid, Water Authority not paid, Logic not paid, but then they can go up in Walmart. Hot tamales. Yep. Person says, yep, I had one who used to work with me. And the day, that day she can't worry about her bills and she needs a break. And that's their mentality. This is the same thing I'm talking about. A lot of our people just prioritizing all kind of wrongs. If you can jump on a plane and pay plane ticket, hotel, rental car, shopping money, stay your backside home in your mortgage house, make that sacrifice and sort out your business, pay your bills first. We don't want to have those types of conversations because that's a little bit too real. That's a little bit too much of the cold hard truth. And sometimes they be the biggest complainers on social media. And I just be sitting there going, honey, you know you need to make some sacrifices, right? Something's got to give. Now, what I've said here today, I'm not giving when it comes to comfort in my home, because guess what? I pay in the bank and I want to be comfortable. This is a long-term investment. I want to be able to stay home, turn on my little TV, turn on my AC. But then I'm going to sacrifice. I'm not going out there shopping for clothes as often. I'm not going to be going to living up in the salon, right? I'm not going to the bar and spending no money on liquor. I'm not going to get no man that I have to spend money on because that can cost a lot. I'm not paying for that. All right, let's talk about this article that our Bermuda friend sent us. Danny, you exceeded your calls for the day. Now, you know. Come on, 4 or 5 times a day. You're getting a bit much. I see you calling, but I need to read this article. Bermuda's electricity, second most expensive in the world, says this July 24th article in the Royal Gazette. Bermuda has the second most expensive electricity in the world in July 2023, according to electricrate.com. So it seems to me that y'all need to go and view electricrate.com. Let's copy the link and I'll put it in here for you. Go get your facts, honey child. Island residents paid 37 cents per kilowatt hour, far above the 14.2 cents global average. What's the average in Cayman? Let me look at y'all bills now, because some of y'all sending me some bills. So, this one don't have the kilowatt on it. Hold on now. Hold on. Who just sent me their bill? So the kilowatt in Cayman is 1 energy charge per kilowatt, 1.3. All right. So the average, global average is 14.2, and we're paying 0.13. What? No. That's not right. Is that right? That can't be right. Is my math off on this one? Good morning, caller.
Yeah. So, Danny, what is the solution? What is the solution?
I gotta give you Danny number so you can talk solutions.
What is listen to me. Look here, Sandra. You talk about somebody that missed the forest for the trees. I mean, it's like, what are you saying, Danny? What are you saying? What are you saying?
All right,
right? What control do we have over Biden? Like, what are you saying? Get to the point. Right.
All right. Denny, I'm gonna give the two of you each other's numbers, and y'all can sort that out. So I'm confused here now because island residents pay 37 cents per kilowatt hour, far above the 14.2 cent kilowatt average, but we're paying 0.13. No, that can't be right. Okay. Let me make sure I'm comparing apples to apples, because if that's the case, damn, Bermuda is beyond high. Wow. Okay. No wonder they got to have a $16 minimum wage. Let's be honest here. Hamilton was ranked the most expensive city in the world. It was 40% more expensive than New York City. 40% more, which is the benchmark for the index. What? 40% more expensive than New York City. Hamilton, Bermuda? Please, Paul, invite me to your country. I want to see what quality of living you got over there that I'm going to be paying 40% more. Jeez, peace. It says when the ranking is adjusted for purchasing power, Hamilton is 25% cheaper than New York City. Oh, because how far your money will go. Oh, okay. Ooh, honey child. The most expensive country for power was Germany, which comes in at 39 cents per kilowatt hour. Germany has faced a perfect storm of events that has forced up the cost of its already high price electricity. OMG, no way. Are you kidding me? It has a high dependence on expensive renewables? Say what? I thought renewables was the answer. Oh, well, excuse me. It has a high dependence on expensive renewables using Russia's natural gas, which has been ending the use of nuclear power. So renewables isn't the end all and be all of this? Oh, wow. There's another lesson in life. What a hot mess. It says here that Bermuda's electricity is expensive for a number of reasons, including the relatively small size of the power plants, the need to ship in fuel, ding, 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 the lack of alternative generation, the lack of nuclear power, and limited competition. Wow. Okay, so regionally it says in the Bahamas, residents spend an average of 31 cents per kilowatt hour, as did residents of the Cayman Islands. In Barbados, it was 28 cents, and in Jamaica, it was 25 cents. Okay. So what is that 0.1? I need to work that out because obviously they're calculating that somehow differently. According to the survey, electricity in the U.S. was priced lower than the global average, though it was higher in some states. So New Jersey was at 21.6%. 21.6% in New York. New Jersey was 16.32. Britain, residential electricity costs 27 cents per kilowatt. So Britain, not really that far off from the 31 cents it says that we're paying. What a hot mess. This person says, Sandy, they sent a copy of their bill. Thank you very much. They said, here's my current bill. We traveled for a week and a half in July. Consumption went down and hence my bill went down. My last bill was $428. This bill is $371. These people. And they say, yes, they spend their CUC bill on drinks on Fridays, then complain when they can't pay CUC. Dummies, if you ever know how many Friday nights I stay home because the money not there. Well, I mean, I agree. This person says, my concern is value for money. On some jobs, there's just too much persons sitting on the ground on their phones, 6 bucket trucks, and only 2 in the air working. We pay for this. And we also pay for the reliability of our service. So I forget who was saying earlier about rolling blackouts and all kind of stuff. You know, we don't have that lack of quality of service here. So I don't know exactly what the bucket trucks are out there doing. And I'm not saying there can be more efficiency in terms of that. But, CUC invests in its workers. I just saw something they posted about the workers getting some sort of a qualification, going on training, and all of that is at the expense of the company. Anyway, honey child. This person says, ask your BMU listener to send a copy of his light bill. Paul, would you be willing to share your light bill with us? Please. Let's see how much you're paying for electricity. And let's see what the usage is and the whole 9 yards. Andy says, based on my bill, our total comes in at 32.5 cents a kilowatt. Cameron says, Sandy's the only one Denny can argue with. Charles says, people don't have their priorities straight. Entitlement is all I can say. Living comfy is not free, y'all. And listen, it's different for everyone because I see people, again, maybe for some people, it's not the electricity. It's not the drinking or whatever. But then I see them eating out every single day. They don't want to cook a pot of food that can last at least 2 meals. You know, I'm not a huge leftover person, but I can eat a couple days worth of leftovers, especially if it's the right kind, because spaghetti always tastes better the next day. You know, they have a household of like 10 people, and every day they're going to fast food restaurants and stocking up and, you know, buying all this stuff. I'm like, yo, cook yourself a pot of rice, throw some chicken in there. Chicken is relatively cheap. You can't afford oxtail no more. So forget about the oxtail. That's now a luxury meat. Put some chicken, put some fresh vegetables in there, do something sauteed, fix it up, and eat less food. Because some of y'all are over consuming even with the food that you eat. Look at the scale. Look at the round belly. They're getting bigger by the day. And y'all complain that you're broke. You're not broke, honey child. Because your diet says that you are gluttonous and not broke. I'm just being honest. Right? Yeah. So we're over consuming even in terms of what we're eating. And yet y'all complaining about you're broke. You're teaching your children to be gluttonous. Somebody, I don't want to name him, but he was complaining, oh, you know, he needs some food vouchers. And I said, okay, honey child, I can give you some food vouchers, but let me tell you something. I see your social media posts and I see how fat and unhealthy your kids are and how you're feeding them. Every time you get a couple dollars, you got to run to Casanova's and then post it on social media. Oh, look how good we eating. I can't afford to do it. I can afford to do it, but I don't do it because those are sacrifices I'm making on the one end to not be able to complain about CUC on the other end, or not go out there begging people for a food voucher because you eat home. Okay. And I said, start teaching your children. Even if you're at home cooking, they can't sit down and have 2 full plates of food. They might have 1 plate and be satisfied. They might have to understand what it means to feel a little hunger pang in your belly. Because most of these children now, they don't know what hunger is. They've never felt it. Because we, again, raising over consumers, raising gluttonous children who have no self-control whatsoever. Make them go get a summer job, bagging groceries, doing something, cleaning somebody's yard. And they can earn little money. And then, you know, when they earn their money, hello, give mommy $100 of that to go towards your consumption in this house. Go towards us CUC bill. That's how you do it, honey child. I know in high school, I was out there hustling and collecting cans on the streets, bottles and cans with my uncle to then go to the recycling place and hand that in so I can have a little spending money. Yep. One person says I work from home on certain days of the week. Guess what I cook on those days? This person says renewable energy isn't cheap and it involves a dirty process to make solar panels, etc. Look at what is happening in the DRC. Artesian mining and industrial mining is literally killing the people of the DRC, and the industrial mining is resulting in millions of trees and forests being cleared annually. Ooh, honey child, some truth coming out yet today. So yes, there's a dirty side to this renewable push. It just so happens that the DRC has the high-grade cobalt that is needed to stabilize rechargeable batteries. And since it's in Africa, the world is willing to ignore the total degradation of the people and environment there. Ooh, so. Tesla, Apple, BMW, and other car manufacturers are getting cobalt from this region, and they ignore what's happening there. And before any environmentalists say that that there is clean or certified cobalt, that's BS. Woo, honey, can't take the heat on that one yet today. What? No, sir. Damien says same in Brazil with mining. Cameron says 2 packs of meat for $8. Same as a bag of Doritos and a Pepsi. And the meat is going to stretch a lot longer. This person says people need to read. They need to educate themselves. Wow. What a hot mess. All right, folks. Oxtail not getting no more, honey child. That stuff expensive these days. Nobody said to eat rice. You can eat vegetables. You can have your little vegetable garden growing and eat all the vegetables in the world. I'm not saying you have to eat rice. No, Denny, I can't take any more calls. I got to go. I got to